The West London Borough of Hounslow stretches from the affluent suburban streets of Chiswick to the industrial parks, waterworks and open spaces of Lower Feltham, and it is as culturally rich and diverse as any area of the United Kingdom. Perhaps more than any other place in the UK, the roads, railways, flight paths and canals that are like arteries that crisscross Hounslow mark it out as a space of transit, a place of movement, of people and goods, and a space of change. This diverse area of London provides a perfect space to look at the local in order to draw light on some more global forces at play. These short films have been made by residents of Hounslow. Together, they reflect different aspects of the borough, from its multiple faiths and languages to traces of the past and tensions between the urban and nature. The films consider what it is to stop, to slow down, to take a closer look at the spaces in which we live, and to think about the forces that might impact the way we imagine our local areas, both now and in the future.
Eu gosto da natureza do Heath, é bem tranquilo ali. Eu gosto de escutar o vento e os passarinhos e os animais que vivem ali. Eu também gosto da comunidade onde eu vivo. Todo mundo ali é tão bom e gentil.
ਹਾਸਲੋ ਜੀ ਸਭ ਤੋਂ ਚੰਗੀ ਜੋ ਮੈਨੂੰ ਲੱਗਦੀ ਏ ਉਹ ਜੀ ਇੱਥੇ ਦਾ ਮਾਹੌਲ, ਸਾਰੇ ਇਕੱਠੇ ਉੱਠਦੇ ਬੈਠਦੇ, ਖਾਣੇ ਆਪਣੇ ਜ਼ਬਰਦਸਤ। ਹਾਂਜੀ, ਐਸਾ ਲੱਗਦਾ ਐਸਾ ਘਰ ਬੈਠੇ ਹਾਂ। ਅਤੇ ਬੱਲੇ ਬੱਲੇ ਜੀ ਹਾਸਲੋ ਜੀ।
Aš čia gyvenu jau 10 metų, tai labai smagu, kad viskas labai pažįstama ir labai nostalgiška. Ir labai smagu, kad visi iš kitokių šalių, žinai, su kitokiom kalbom, taip toliau, taip toliau. Tai daug gali išmokti iš visų.
हॉन्सलो की सबसे पसंदीदा बात ये है कि यहाँ मुख्तलिफ कौमियतों और मज़ाहिब से ताल्लुक़ रखने वाले लोग मोहब्बत के साथ मिलजुल कर रहते हैं और एक दूसरे का एहतराम करते हैं।
Service to Hatton Cross. The next station is Hounslow West. Please mind the gap.
Bienvenue à Hounslow.
أهلا وسهلا بكم في هاونسلو.
आप सबका हॉन्सलो में स्वागत है।
Benvenuti in Hounslow.
Witamy w Hounslow.
Bienvenidos a Hounslow.
हॉन्सलो में खुशामदीद।
Ẹ káàbọ̀ sí Hounslow.
Hogarth House is one of the hidden gems of Hounslow. This is where William Hogarth lived and worked throughout his life. It has a beautiful garden full of plants, and the centerpiece is a magnificent mulberry tree. Inside, you get an idea of what life was like in the house. There is a contract, there are statues, and there are card dioramas that show what life was like in the 18th century. Upstairs, you can see the print collections, and a lot of Hogarth's work was made using prints and printmaking. You get an idea of the issues in which Hogarth works. There are also a selection of tools that an engraver like William Hogarth would have used to make his art. Hogarth was concerned about the effects of affluence and capitalism on society. A humble working class printmaker, he was passionate about abolishing poverty that he saw in the streets around where he worked in Leicester Square in London. You can see and feel his influence has continued to this day.
Whilst parts of Hounslow, particularly in the east around Chiswick and Osterley, might reflect the ideals of the leafy suburb, other parts do not. The British writer and campaigner Marion Shord described the areas common to much of our post-industrial landscape around cities as edgelands. In her 2002 essay, Shord defines the edgeland as a netherworld, neither urban or rural, a hodgepodge collection of superstores, sewage works, golf courses and roughlands, which sit between town and country in the urban fringe. However, Marion Shord argues that these areas, often overlooked and given derogatory terms like brownfield site, should be celebrated and protected. The images of plants that I've used to punctuate this short film have been made in areas that might once have been described as edgelands. The plants make up part of the diverse flora of areas such as Hounslow Heath and Bedfont Lakes. Hounslow Heath, described in 1830 by William Corbett as a sample of all that is bad in soil and villainous in look, is now a protected nature reserve. Despite the presence of rubbish, and even tents, of homeless displaced asylum seekers, these spaces represent rich habitats. The process I use to make these pictures involves draping a black cloth to isolate the plant from its surroundings. In this way, the camera is able to closely scrutinise the character of the plants, and scrutiny reveals that the plants, often overlooked and unnoticed, include those that have grown here for centuries, as well as invasive species such as knotweed, Himalayan balsam and giant hogweed. This variety of species are a kind of manifestation of a landscape in flux, one forged by the global movement of people and goods. They could be seen as a metaphor for the rich mix of cultures and heritages of today's Hounslow.
सब दी पढ़ना सब दी सब दी करो
I'm just about to start painting, but I've just realized the tide is rising. So I have to abandon my work.